Ahoy hoy gang, if this is your first time with us, welcome, and if you're joining us from a previous video, hey, we'd love to see it, and I hope you're doing well. It's Season 7! Some of the best episodes of the entire series, as well as some of the most experimental. We're gonna get into some good ones, so don't go to heaven, it's time to talk Season 7! Number 5, Hot Water. I know this is going to be controversial. I know people are going to hate this, but I love Hot Water. I still sing the songs. I love CeeLo Green in it. I think every bit of the episode works. I think it's fantastically experimental in all the best ways. Go on, leave your hate comments. I dare you. I'll fight you all. It's just, it's like Little Shop of Horrors, but much like 100 AD in the last season, they know they're doing a musical episode, but they make it its own thing. We also get, again, Principal Lewis front and center. We get Steve dropping those R&B, silky smooth, milk, chocolate, good vibes. They are so good. Daddy's Gone will always be a bop. Like, I am not going to sit here and tell you that Hot Water is a weak episode, because I will never laugh in the face of innovation. I will never not appreciate creativity from the Dad Squad. Hot Water is just so good. And I love that CeeLo Green seems to be having fun with it. I love that it's an evil hot tub. That's perfect for American Dad. And plus, all the stories just sort of focus around this. There's no B story that pulls you away. It's just beat after beat after beat. And they make sure to maintain that same momentum for 23 minutes. And then you have that shocking conclusion where it just ends. Now, again, I know, I suppose it's series finale and whatever. I don't think that's the case. It doesn't feel like that's the case. But it's just, Hot Water is fantastic and a brilliant way to start off a season. Number 4, Wheels and the Legman in the case of Papa Wheelie. While they've been a part of other episodes, this is the first Wheels and the Legman, center episode, where they are the A story. The B story is also fun, where it's got Klaus trying to be on a cute pet pics website, but it's really just Klaus's ego that makes that B story fun. Meanwhile, the A story, you have Stan actively trying to bond with Steve as Papa Wheelie. That's great. That's great that Stan is actually proud of Steve and wants to be a part of what he's doing, sure, because he's bored, but also it's kind of just nice that he cares. Roger says that Steve can't, deliver bad news, and that's also a great angle to work with this, but it's just every part of this works. We get the return of Niecy Nash's character from Flirting with Disaster, and it's just, again, every beat works. They switch over, and they even incorporate the B story into the A story. You have Roger's hippo butt saving the website. Wheels and Legman in the case of Papa Wheelie, especially with that last just absolute rage moment from Steve, is a great episode. It's an episode I could marathon 10 times in a row and not get bored. I love how they just wrap everything up and then get to the conclusion. I know that's the most baseline critique. I like how they started, they went, and then ended. I like how it had a beginning, middle, and end. But it's true. I do. I'm not padding. It's just Wheels and the Legman is a perfectly paced episode of American Dad. There are some that feel a little too fast in the beginning or a little too fast in the end, but with Wheels and the Legman, it feels perfect. They have found the perfect momentum for Wheels and the Legman to carry an episode. And I feel like that was a writing challenge that they wanted to succeed at. I'm not saying give us a Wheels and the Legman spin-off or anything, but this definitely showed that they can lead their own episodes. Number 3, Hurricane. I think this episode is only as high up on this list as it is because I remember watching this event on that Sunday night. I remember watching the Hurricane event, watching Cleveland Show, watching Family Guy, and then sort of coming down with American Dad. And I don't think I would have loved this episode as much if it didn't follow that Seahorse Seashell Party Family Guy episode. That was almost unwatchable. That was horrid. And then you get American Dad Hurricane, and you're like, yes, please, more of this, more. I mean, you've got Kristen Shaw as a special guest, and she's absolutely fantastic. You've got the return of Buckle and Shari, and that's great. But it's also just that Stan has a ton of confidence, but he just does not do well in crises. And that's a great thing to look at with him, compared to, you know, Meg is tired of being berated by her family, and Cleveland Jr. doesn't believe in God. Compared to CIA agent Stan Smith is very, very good in a planned environment, but when there's actually pressure attached to him, he can't really do anything and freezes up. And so you get this delightful Poseidon adventure in the Smith house. It's great. I don't know. I feel like if the other two were nearly as good, I don't feel like Hurricane would be this high on this list. This showed to me that a Family Guy, Cleveland show, and American Dad, that American Dad was the most creatively experimental and creatively non-bankrupt. I really liked Hurricane, and it always sort of resonated with me. Number 2, Seasons Beatings. Like, as much as I love For Whom the Sleigh Bell Tolls, and that's easily probably one of my absolute favorite Christmas specials, Seasons Beatings is just absolutely next level. It's a I guess non-canon, pseudo-canon, don't worry about the timeline Christmas episode, but it's just Stan trying to get back into church after beating up Roger. And I love it. Sure, yeah, you know, Nemo is the new anti-Jesus, but that is really just a vehicle for some absolute banger jokes. You've got super optimistic Asian Roland Chang, who is the best, one of the absolute best Roger personas of all time. You've got Steve chanting in a dead language while walking around like a bug. Also, I'll say it, it's probably the only time we really get a focus on the father. Like, hearing him just read off Wikipedia information as he takes his last breaths. Martin Mull is just great, and I loved him as the father. And it's just, I don't know, I miss his character. I wish he was in it again. Sometimes you just like seeing Gene Parmesan, you know? But like I said in my review of the episode, it feels very big yet small. It feels like a very contained story about very outlandish elements. And that's what I like the most about Seasons Beatings, is it never takes itself too seriously. It's always having fun. As opposed to, you know, For Whom the Sleigh Bell Tolls, where you have to set actual stakes, where you have to set him coming back for revenge. It is just absolutely one of my favorite episodes of the entire season, but it does not hold a candle to number 1. Number 1, Less Money, Mo Problems. Yeah, there was no way any other episode was beating this. I adore Less Money, Mo Problems. Again, it's another one of those redemption rebound episodes. I did not like Less Money, Mo Problems at first, but as I got older, as I started appreciating meta-comedy more, and as I started really getting into Bob Odenkirk stuff, like, you know, Mr. TV with David Cross, and all the other, Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Great Job, or I Think You Should Leave, I really started going into, like, his writing on SNL. And so when I saw he was a part of this episode and he played like 6 different characters, I really started to listen for him. And when I kept hearing him as like, Stubli, or You Are My Queen, Rebecca, I was like, okay, wow, talk about range. And it made me appreciate the episode that much more. Not only is it a great Stan and Francine episode where they try and make it work competing against Haley and Jeff, but also, again, you just have really, really amazing bits. And then, just like in Stanny Boy and Fantastic in the last season, we have a Roger and Steve versus Klaus moment, where they prove that they can test drive a Ferrari too. And it's just, you know what? That works for me. I love how Roger tries to convince them as a blind man. I know it's a reference to Scent of a Woman, but like, I don't really care. It's just good. It's just good TV. I mean, like, my wife and I quote, You Are My Queen, Rebecca, every single day. It's just, that is one of my absolute favorite. That might be like number 3 in my top 10 episodes of all time. The Pontiac Aztec, like, product placement is perfect. And It will always be a very special episode in my heart, and it will always be one of my most cherished experiences in animation in general. And there we have it. That's Season 7. What were your top 5 episodes of Season 7? Anything you think I was right on, wrong on? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked what you saw, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember, all patrons and members do get these episodes first. So if you want to be in on all that good stuff, as well as getting exclusive videos all on your own, make sure to join today and join this wonderful list of amazing people. Coming up next is Season 8. There's not a lot to hate. And we're reaching the end of our Fox era. It's so fast and yet so delightful. And with that, I'll see you all next time. Stay strong, stay you, and know that I'll always believe in you. I'll see you next time.